What's up, guys? Welcome to my Commissioner's Corner Week 4 wrap-up, Week 5 predictions. Let's hop right into it. Looking back at what transpired this past weekend, I always start with my matchup, so I'll do that now. Cody put up huge numbers this week, convincing 135 to 119 victory. Rides Matt Ryan, Roddy White combo, they combined for 58 points. To victory against my team, which I thought looked pretty good. We were pretty solid across the board. 119 is not shabby. I expected a little more out of Rivers and McCoy, but can't get too greedy. At the end of the day, it just wasn't enough to beat Cody's superior team on this weekend. Congrats, Cody. That moves him into a tie atop David. Next matchup was Jeremy and David. Speaking of David, David not playing any D so far this year, and he gets smacked 107 to 66. Apparently there's something up with his offense as well. Got a good showing from Andy Dalton, but other than that, his team was pretty abysmal. Single digits across the board, and then kind of a respectable 12 from AP. Jeremy wasn't spectacular, except for one huge showing from Brian Hartline. Jeremy actually called me before the Sunday game and Sunday afternoon games and was asking me if there's any way he could pick up Ramses Barden, who his waivers didn't unlock until this past Wednesday. I didn't really know if I could do anything for him, and obviously I didn't. So he took a chance on Hartline, and it really worked out. So you're welcome there, Jeremy. Congrats on the win. Next matchup was Walter and Mason. Two big quarterback performances. Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees played against each other in the NFL this week, where Green Bay won a close 128-27, and they also dueled it out fantasy-wise in this matchup, each finishing with 35 fantasy points. It was Walter's strong running back play that ultimately took the day, though, winning 116 to 103. Congrats there, Walt. He moves to 500, and Mason gets his first loss of the year. Next matchup was Al and Wayne. This was our matchup of the week. Didn't really live up to the billing too much. Al wins, and not really a very close one, 107 to 84. Big game from Brady there, Al. It was good to see him back in your lineup. 52 points for the Patriots. Starting to look like the 07 offense. Not to make a big deal out of 1 week, but get a couple more performances like that. Those will single-handedly win you games. Brady gets 37. Another big showing from the Bears D, who got out 23. I think they're the #1 fantasy defense this year, so he's really been riding them to a tie for the best record in Goliath at 3-1. Wayne, on the other hand, subpar performance from Ray Rice, bad performance from McFadden. I know he expected more out of those running backs, so hopefully they'll start producing and Wayne can get back into it. He's back to 500 as well. Our last matchup of the week, we had Chad and Brad. Pretty much everybody except Brad himself picked him for the Snowman, and well, he really showed us in case in point with how random fantasy can truly be. Chris Johnson showed up, had a first decent game in ages. Brad also gets a big game from Peyton Manning, and rolls convincingly over still winless Chad, 107 to 90. Chad's team doesn't look bad on paper. He's got that quarterback issue. Romo and now Carson Palmer have really stunk it up for him. I'm thinking maybe Andrew Luck going forward. Who knows, Chad? Gonna have to do something, change things up, because currently they're not working. Let's look at this coming week. Got some tasty matchups. Matchup of the week's me and Walt. Family rivalry, always a fun time. I'm going to pick myself. I think my team needs the morale. We're both at 500, both me and Walter. We're trying to kind of climb up that ladder in our division. And I just think this is the week that my team comes together. We ride a little bit of momentum that we started last week. And I think we're all over Walt this week. I like my wide receiver matchups, A.J. Green and Brandon Marshall, against some fairly soft secondaries. I'm scared of Aaron Rodgers and Gronkowski, but who wouldn't be? So I'm hoping that my team can put together a performance that overcomes a few big ones from Walter. Our next matchup is Wayne and Mason. Should be a good one as well. Both teams are a little banged up. Mason takes pride in his gimpiness. However, Wayne's been hurt by a few byes here, a couple injuries, so his team looks a little less intimidating than usual. Not that that's saying much, I suppose. But I like Mason in this one. I think that San Diego-New Orleans game on Sunday night is going to be a shootout. Well, cross my fingers for Philip Rivers, but definitely for Drew Brees. So I think Mason will ride a big performance from him. And Jimmy Graham should get in on the action, and he'll ride that to victory over Wayne. We got Cody at David. Cody's been hot, 135 last week, as we talked about. I like him in a convincing win over David. David just doesn't seem to be able to get it together, unless David can pull out the D this week, which I haven't seen from him all this season. If he can get back to his old defensive ways, then maybe he's got a chance, but other than that, I like another Matt Ryan, Roddy White romp. Brad and Jeremy square off this week. I guess I learned my lesson in picking against Brad, even though I think Jeremy's team looks better. I'm gonna ride my gut here and say that both Manning and Brady are gonna have big games in that 4 o'clock showdown. This is a quarterback's week, in my opinion, so Brad rides that to victory over Jeremy. Finally, we have Chad and Al. Like I said, I think Brady has a big game against the Broncos, and I think the winless, and a common theme here, remain winless this week, as Al continues his run up the standings in Goliath, and Chad continues to wallow in despair at the bottom of Goliath in their cellar. Never good to be in Goliath's cellar, I'll say that. David's cellar isn't very good, I can tell you that from last year, but at least you're in the cellar in the superior division. Am I right? I'm right. Anyways, guys, good talking to you. Hope you enjoy the games this weekend. I'm actually visiting Walter up in Radford, so that ought to be fun for some family weekend. See how Ratty gets down. And I know I'll enjoy watching the games on Sunday, and I hope you guys do the same. Take care.